Hey beauties, welcome to Beauty Defines podcast. On today's podcast, I'm going to discuss with you why it's important to stay private on your level of journey and in certain areas of your life. Now, living a private lifestyle can be challenging, especially nowadays because of social media, but there are consequences when you share too much about your life. I'm not telling you to be so private that you don't talk to people, but I believe that you must manage the information you share. Always remember that you're the one in control of the information that you release. Now, there are several key areas I believe is important to keep private. Number one, family. Now, this may seem obvious, but try to keep your family life private. I'm not saying to make your family look perfect, but sharing too many negatives about your family can come around to haunt you. People can take this information and use it against you in the future. Now, as it relates to children, sometimes people share too much about their children. Everyone is not happy that your child was accepted into college or has a great GPA. Now, I'm not telling you to not celebrate your children, but what I'm saying is be careful not to expose your children too much, because some of your friends and people on social media, they don't care and they are not happy. You can cause more enemies to target your children just by exposing them too much. So number two, finances. People should not know how much money you earn, whether it's through your job or side hustles or hobbies. I know you're excited about that raise, but don't share it on social media or with everyone in your circle or your family. If you do, just make sure that it's someone that you trust wholeheartedly. Because one thing that I know, people will envy you for the money you earn, and sometimes they'll try to set you up. And if you share your salary with people you don't trust, they can tell one person that will share it with everyone else. Now, people are expecting you to pull out your wallet at social events and make you feel like you're stingy if you don't spend your money. No one has time for all that. Also, if you're working on your credit score or your savings account, keep this private. Truthfully, you need to be careful because having too much money and people knowing that or having financial goals can attract more users and leeches. You may have times where people ask you how much money you make or how much money do you make as a nurse, because I'm interested in becoming a nurse. You can give them a salary range or tell them it varies when they, start working at a certain hospital, or they can just do their research online. Or you can even say, hey, it's not personal, but I don't feel comfortable with sharing my salary at this time, or I make just enough to survive. I have read about different arguments supporting the idea that you should share your salary with certain colleagues to see who's getting finessed in a sense. For example, some industries pay women less than men for the same work. And the only way to really know about this inequality is if you talk to other women about their salaries. Now, beauties, this argument makes sense to me, but you better proceed with caution. Do not trust everyone with your financial affairs. The love of money is the root of all evil. I remember a couple of months ago, I read about a woman telling her coworker she was receiving about $3,000 in taxes. Her coworker literally during the shift contacted a friend and told a friend to wait for the woman to get off work to rob her of her $3,000. The friend robbed the woman and murdered her inside of her car as she left her job. This was so devastating because really $3,000 to take someone's life. And also this woman had children and she was just excited to share this news with her colleagues. Now, I'm not saying all cases are this extreme, but I'm sharing this example with you to tell you that this is serious and you need to be very careful. Number three, relationships. When it comes to your relationships and marriage, you need to keep certain parts of your marriage private, or all of it. Now, I don't think your relationship should be secretive considering the amount of betrayal that can transpire, but I don't think you should share everything either. And I don't know why so many people share information on social media about their partner and expose them. You think the people care about your partner's fantasies or their flaws, women and men do this on a small scale as well. I've literally heard married folks talk bad about their partner with the opposite sex. And in my opinion, you're just cracking up that door for infidelity if it already doesn't exist in your marriage. You need to get a counselor or therapist. And to be frank, some people love that your relationship is falling apart. I'm not saying to stay in a toxic or abusive relationship either, because I do believe that domestic violence is real and you should always keep a paper trail if you're in that situation and seek help. And you want to keep a paper trail to have evidence when you file a claim against your partner, or God forbid, you disappear or something tragic happens to you, at least that there's a paper trail and there's a witness that can testify on your behalf. I know, Erncy, you're just being too real with these people, but I want you to know that you need to look out for yourself. Another aspect when it comes to relationships is when people ask you about your relationship status. Beauties, it's none of their business. When people do this, it's because they're being nosy. It's not because they're trying to set you up with someone. I've seen women get questioned most of the time. At church, for example, at work, social events, etc. If you don't want to discuss your relationships, just give an indirect response. Here are some examples. Erncy, are you single? Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. And I'm smiling right now as I'm saying this. Erncy, when are you and your husband going to have kids? Girl, only God knows. Laugh it off, beauties, and switch topics. Erncy, you only have one child. Don't you think little Ray Ray needs another sibling? Well, you know what? Who knows? I'm just living my best life right now. Erncy, are you dating Steven? Why do you want to know? Beauties, sometimes you have to use this moment to make others uncomfortable too by asking them questions and follow-up questions and responding a certain way. Erncy, why don't you have kids? Well, I can't have children. I've been trying for 3 years now. Glad that you asked. Beauties, I'm not saying that people have bad intentions when they're asking you questions, but I want you to know that you're going to have to practice in providing certain responses, because you might think you're being rude, but I think it's rude that people feel so entitled to know about your love life. And even worse, why do people feel so comfortable with asking questions? And why do you feel bad if you don't respond? I just want you to know that sharing information about your love life is your choice. Number 4, personal and career goals. Always, always, always use discretion and proceed with caution when it comes to your goals. If you're planning to write a book, start a new job, quit your job, or even attend college, only you or a few people you trust should know. Avoid posting about your next move on social media or share it with certain people that you trust. Truth is, if your business has not launched, you should probably keep it private. If you feel so inclined to share your business goals, share it with people that are planning to contribute to your business. And make sure that you have your legal documents in place, because you do not want someone to try to steal your business plans. Here's a story time of what happened to me when someone tried to steal my business name. So about 5 or 6 years ago, I thought of creating Beauty Defined as a ministry. I was attending this church and had a friend there that I would pray with. We were part of a girls' ministry, and I just remember telling this friend that I wanted to create a similar ministry, but for all ages of girls and women, and I will name it Beauty Defined based on Psalm 139:14. Now, we chatted and we prayed. I mean, we were good friends. I had also told her that school is keeping me pretty busy, and I plan to, focus on it later after I graduate. At this time, it was just more an idea, and I was journaling about it. I talked to my family about it. I even posted a poem titled Beauty Defined on Facebook. Now, we were still friends. We would still hang out and pray. And it was just so interesting to me, because when I eventually left the church, I created a Beauty Defined YouTube channel and was posting videos on Facebook. And I guess she noticed that I was posting videos under Beauty Defined. So several months later, This so-called friend messaged me on Facebook out of nowhere and said, Beauty Defined is my business name. I took a photo of the date on the poem that I posted from years prior and asked her if Beauty Defined was her idea, why did I have it earlier? And her response was, well, the pastor's wife know that it was my business idea. And she went on this long rant and said, guess what? Beauties, you'll never guess what she said. I got an LLC filed. You see, you can't even trust people in church. She literally took my business name and got an LLC behind my back. And the interesting thing is, when she got the LLC behind my back, we were still friends. She still saw me at church, never mentioned a word to me. She would still say hi, but she kept the business a secret. She got the LLC before I could file it. So I told her, wow, you stole my idea when we were praying together. You saw me at church for a couple of years and you never mentioned, hey, Ernst, I created a business named Beauty Defined. You waited for me to leave the church and you went to file the documents. That's so conniving. And beauties, I told her straight up, like, listen, I'm a very intelligent woman. I would never have to steal an idea from someone, especially a name. And I told her, if you think that this name belongs to you, I dare you to sue me because I have all the evidence. I have the Facebook posts from years ago, my journal entries discussing Beauty Defined, my good friend that could testify, and family members. She could not explain how she came up with the name. She literally had no basis. At least I had a foundation saying, hey, I wanted this name because of Psalm 139. She took Beauty Defined and used it for her hair business, which was interesting because that wasn't going anywhere. But I digress. So she continued on this rant and told me I need to change my YouTube name. And she did not try to sue me because she knew I had the evidence. So I found myself getting irritated as we were going back and forth on Facebook Messenger that a friend from church, of all places, would do this. So I calmed down and used my logic. Make sure that you check out my previous podcast on how to use your logic. I used my logic, and the first thing I did Monday morning was contact the business department and told them this is the name I would like for my business, Beauty Defined. And the gentleman searched it, and God loved me so much that I discovered Beauty Defined was still available, but Beauty Defined with a D was not. So this means she created her Beauty Defined name with a D, and the one without a D was still available, which is my channel, Beauty Defined. So I was so happy, and I just continued to ignore her messages, even though I have all the receipts in my inbox, and I continued living my best life. Beauties, even if I would have had to change my name completely, my ministry would still prevail because I had the right and pure intentions, whether I had a complete different name or not. As I told this fake friend, you cannot stop creativity. And I'm typically a private person, but shared this with her because we prayed together and we were going to the same church and we were friends for a while. Now I'm sharing this with you on my podcast to warn you to not make the same mistake. Do not trust people. Even though it worked out for me in the end because God was really looking out, I do not want you to fall into similar situation. Another example, if you're planning to grow as a person and you want to work on your character, be careful of sharing this because people may try to discourage you and say things like, why are you trying to level up? It's too late for you to improve on that character trait, or I don't have time for that. Some people are just negative about any personal growth you desire. Beauties, there's enough negativity and envious people out there. Sharing too much will open more doors for people to attack you than if you remain private about the areas I listed. We share a lot with people because we think that they are happy for us, or maybe we're just excited and cannot keep it bottled up inside. Or sometimes we think that they will support us, but they copy our plan or try to steal it, like the friend I mentioned earlier. Sometimes the safest thing to do is just journal your goals or create a business plan or vision board and hang it in a secluded area of your home. Everyone won't support you. Your partner, family, best friend may discourage you on the journey. Sometimes they do this out of fear and want to protect you. Other times it's because they envy you and they don't want you to level up because it's going to make them uncomfortable. Share just enough information to have relationships with people, but not so much as to hurt yourself in the future. Just be sure to always keep certain areas of your life private because you are more likely to regret sharing too much than you would regret being private. Beauties, I hope you learn more about how to remain private on your journey. I love interacting with my audience. Please email me at beautydefined139@gmail.com, or you could leave me a voice message as well on this podcast if you have any questions or just want to tell me your thoughts on Beauty Defined or any suggested topics. As always, you are fearfully and wonderfully made.